Oh, good evening everyone, a lovely evening. So I've come to this barn here with a tree growing out of it for sunset. And one thing I love about getting out from Essex and driving around is you see things that you don't often see in Essex now. Don't really see lots of stone barns lying around. Here in Derbyshire where I am at the moment, there's a few of them. Lots of them have got broken roofs and bits falling off them, which I love, the old derelict kind of stuff. Now the sky, you can see, is a bit bright at the moment, but that's because the sun is right behind this barn. So there's a public footpath that runs right past it. So I'm going to have a little look around, little scout around, see what I can find. But the location tonight is hopefully, or the shot tonight is going to be the barn with hopefully a nice sky behind it. Got another hour to go before sunset, so I've got plenty of time to have a good look. But there's lots of clouds in the sky. It looks like it's going to be an epic evening actually. See you in a minute. So I think I found a composition. I'm going to try this one to start with, have a little look at it. It looks right through the camera. So we've got, just to talk you through it, obviously this lovely stone wall, which again I love in this part of the world. There's moss on this section, where's my hand? This section here as it leads in, and then we've got the barn, which is in the mid-ground unusually. I thought it might be in the foreground, it might be later on. And then over here obviously we've got the hill, got some really interesting trees on it, and what I'm going to do is get the camera far enough around so that I've got some separation between the edge of the barn here and the hill, because there's a steep sort of steep gradient there. But the light's going to come from this way, so we're going to hopefully have some lovely sunlight kissing the side of the rocks here to give us a bit of shadow detail, and then the sky up above hopefully will pick up some of that lovely pink light. So time to get set up. Only thing I need now is some clouds in the background in the sky, because at the moment everything looks good apart from there's no light on the side, which is going to come, and there's no cloud cover. But again, some of these clouds might come over. There's nothing you can do about it. I suppose you could clone it in. Don't really like doing, to be honest. So we'll see what's going to happen. I'm going to sit here and wait now. Just enjoy the view, the smells, the sound of the sheep, the sunlight. It's beautiful. And we'll wait for near the time and then we'll see how it's looking. I might also try and scout out another composition just so I've got a spare one, and I'll also have my grads ready because it might well be that the sky is really bright and I'm going to need to balance it out a little bit. At the moment it certainly is far too bright, but obviously when it gets darker as it gets to sunset, that may not be the case. It will depend on what we've got in the sky, so I'm going to have those ready because when it happens quite quickly, so you need to be prepared. See you when the photograph's ready. So we've still got another half an hour to sunset, and I have realised though that the sun is going to go down behind a hill there. So the light on the side of these rocks is not going to be so good. There's some really nice stuff the other side of the barn. Problem is I've got a road behind me, but some fields, and there's a big tree, so we might be able to cut it out. So what I'm going to do, there's nothing in the sky over here where I need it. There's loads over there where I don't need it. I'll give it another 10 minutes, wait for some clouds to come over. They are moving this way. Shoot a picture from here, and then I'm going to move to the composition behind me, and I'll have a look at there's a big hawthorn tree behind me, which I'll show you in a second. You can probably see from the drone footage actually, and a nice interesting tree behind me as well. So lots of prospects. So there's the hawthorn tree, so that's the view looking backwards, although imagine the barn's here. I'm going to move up there in a second. Once I've taken this shot, I'll show you it, but that's not looking too bad. Even if there's not a lot of sky, and there is quite a bit of cloud cover up here, so we might end up with something decent. So as it's still very blue, the sky, it's a very light blue, I'm going to put a polarizer on, just to darken down the sky really more than anything else, because at the moment the sky is so light it's looking really unbalanced. Now I want to try and get some images with the light on this foreground rocks here, this wall, that is ever approaching the hill beside me. So I reckon I've got another 10 minutes. There are some clouds trying really hard to move into my scene. Probably going to be too far away, too high up, but one of those nights though, you just don't know. If everything comes into alignment, it's going to be beautiful. But I definitely want to get some shots with some light on these rocks and the barn itself, and then I'm going to move up to my other composition, I think. Great night to be out though. No coat with me whatsoever. Got some horses in the distance. The moon's up. It's beautiful. So the first shot is going to be focused pretty much close to me. A little bit of wall, I'll show you in the camera in a moment. A little bit of wall focused here. In fact, I'll show you on the finished print where I focused. So we're going to do a focus stack here quickly. The lights, this might be my last chance. The light's just coming out now. Some cloud over where I don't want it. Nothing where I do, typically. That's a bit of light now, so let's just shoot that. Okay, that's not too bad. And then what we're going to do is focus stack on. We're going to focus onto the barn itself. Actually, the gate first. I might do 4 then, in that case. Go 1 there. F11 with a wide angle lens should be okay. Because obviously the wider you've got, there we go, there's the light. The wider you've got, the more depth of field you've got. Right, let's just focus on the barn itself now. And I'm not going to worry about 1 in infinity because it's going to be absolutely fine. If I have to use one image, probably going to be that one. I've got no clouds, and that's just the way it goes. Sometimes let's just check the histogram looks okay. This is a really like why I love digital is it's getting everything sorted out. It's a bit like using 5x4. There we go, there's some light. That's the final bit of light. Let's focus on there. So now we're going to have a blank image. Okay, so that means there's no longer any focus stacking because I've got the 3 focus stacked images. And now we're going to shoot F11 bash. Okay, so here's the image, see what you think. So in the end I was actually there to start with. Then I've been up there and I come fully round and the sun is going down there. So we're going to lose the light behind this hill soon, but I'm hoping that some clouds are going to move in. At the moment they're just out of shot and they're kind of moving that way. So hopefully another 20 minutes when sunset they'll be in shot. And we'll get a really nice image. So I'm set up here. I've got a little bit of wall, as you can see. It's a bit of foreground interest. This old barn, what a beauty! Look at it. Absolutely cracking. What a great piece of architecture. Would you call that? I guess so. I guess it was once. You see these? Are they barns or what would you call them? I think in Derbyshire they're probably barns. Maybe it's where the sheep were kept when it was a bit horrible. I mean, there's quite a few of them. I'd probably imagine that because there's so many of them about, maybe they were just where farmers kept bits in each field, put together with the stone. I love the colour of the stone here, it's just gorgeous. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to be lucky with the clouds. I've got, at the moment, because it's so bright over the horizon, I've got about 4 stops of neutral density grad on top of the sky. Just I've got something, but I'll be honest, I think the best photograph is yet to come, so fingers crossed. So I've taken the grads off and look, the sun is probably the dullest it's been. But if you look at the histogram just there, can you see how we've got all these darks here? So a big peak of dark shadow areas of this bit, and then the highlights are right up the end, which I really want to bring down a bit, so I can do that, and that's kind of flattened them down. And this has gone really dark now, and I'm probably losing some detail in here. But if I put this back to, that's on -2, I put that back to normal and put in a grad. Let's have a look. So I've got here it's a 0.6 hard grad, so a 2-stop hard grad. Just going to drop that in there. Like that, doing that. Now you can see that's done that with what's the histogram again? What's this bit here? So that just lowers all those light tones to make it a little bit more manageable. I'm going to try that, and then what I'm going to do is add a 0.9, so this is going to end up with 3, 4, 5 stops of grad on this, and you have to line up to it so it's slightly tipped. This is a soft grad, but if you look at the histogram now, those whites are completely flattened down, which means there's not an awful lot burning out. Now I'm going to shoot that, but I'm still going to give it a bit of compensation. We want those. I don't want anything up this highlight end really, because that's the bit that you can't get back. Now that bit on the horizon where the sun is the bit that's going to hopefully cast some colour. But if you can look at here, that there's nothing in the sky. There probably is, I would say, just a hint at the moment of orangey yellow. Actually, it's more than a hint. There's just a hint of magenta maybe coming into these blues now. Now it's a question of whether, in fact, on the horizon, you can't see it behind the tree there, but there actually are some magentas in these clouds here, which are really, really nice. But I don't think I need all of those clouds that are behind the tree at the moment to make their way to this little bit here, which they are not. So there we go. Let's get rid of all of that. It's not quite straight either. I always straighten it up in Lightroom, but it's actually easier to do it on location. See the green line now? That now means that's now straight. Now we're still getting a lot of burn out there, but I can probably, and in fact I can definitely sort that out in Lightroom. There's still detail there. I could actually put some warmth into the highlights when I process this, just to warm the whole thing up a bit. Focusing again, I think we're going to need another focus stack just to be sure. Okay, so we're going to go with an F, which isn't an F, and then we're going to focus stack on 3 different separate parts. So the first part is going to be that rock there. That's all pretty cool. And then the second one is going to be on those bits of wood themselves. So you're going to go across there, about there. That's where we need. That's the interesting bit. Okay, that's happy with that. And I don't think it's going to be a lot better than that tonight, unfortunately, because the sky is going to be a little bit rubbish. We've got another 7 minutes until sunset. So in the end, I think this is where we've ended up. I moved here really because of the sky, as you can see, but could have been so much better, but could have been so much worse.
Through the fields of our paths, feelings part our ways, keeping us close but estranged now. Dreams holding us closer, meadows of our youth, 107 days, recalling.
Good morning. I'm whispering because it's sunrise. Well, actually, it's not yet. But look, it's beautiful.
I can see so clear. Ooh, we can see so clear.
Oh, I'm exhausted, but that is brilliant. That's really so good. What a lovely, lovely place. Even now the mist is looking great, isn't it? Look, I mean, it was so worth coming out. Big jet going over. Now, just such a lovely morning. I'm so glad I came back. The sky is so much better this morning. Looks so nice compared with yesterday. So yesterday turned into a scouting mission. But that's the way it goes. But I've definitely got some images now which are worth keeping, worth printing. Might even do that at some point, but in the meantime I'm gonna go and have some breakfast. Thank you so much for tuning in as ever, greatly appreciated. Do all the usual stuff. I'm trying to promote the channel and build the channel up, and that's only possible with your help, and it doesn't cost anything to subscribe, just hit the button. Okay, what a wonderful morning. So until next week then, thanks for coming. See you again.